And let me now bring on board Jay Wadia, Managing Director of Bombay Realty. He joins us from Mumbai. Jay, good morning. Thank you for joining us. The focus of the group clearly is now increasing more towards real estate or the real estate business. Can you take us through the performance of the real estate division of your company and how exactly this year has been for your business?
Well, we launched two towers, one office tower of 8 stories and one residential tower of 40 stories about 5 years ago, which was delivered in terms of last year. And subsequently, we have launched 2 new towers, basically residential towers in Dadar, each of them approximately 85 stories last October. And cumulative till date, we've had a very interesting response. Ultimately, our job is to give a better life to our customers. Our objective is to give in terms of, the best homes, but more importantly, give a mixed-use development experience. And that's something which lacks in the city. Infrastructure is the greatest issue we have in the city, specifically in terms of do with time vis-a-vis in terms of the traffic and the amount of time you spend in traffic. So ultimately, Bombay Realty's objective is to create mixed-use developments where you have the ability to live, work and play all in one area. We've progressed in focusing on delivering that experience, through in terms of a conceptual, in terms of walkthrough. And ultimately, a real mixed-use development will only be, the real effects will only be felt once ultimately it's delivered. Today, unfortunately, people have to conceptualize what a mixed-use development is because they don't exist in the city of Bombay.
Jay, hi, morning. A few months earlier, there was an issue where you lost the case and had to give part of land to government agencies. Is that issue now over?
The land size in Dadar is 45 acres. The land size in Worli is 25 acres. The issue in terms of was essentially to do with when we're supposed to hand over the 1/3 portion of the unbuilt up area as per DCR 58(1) and 2, which essentially is the textile in terms of policy, textile mill in terms of policy. Our interpretation of the law was very simple, that we have to hand over in terms of, the obligation of 1/3 and 1/3 in terms of, MADA and BMC respectively at a certain time, which essentially is after we've crossed our, in terms of vanilla FSI, plus we've used 30% of our 1/3 share. And therefore, in terms of we would not be eligible to hand over for another 2 years or so based on the existing run rate of the usage of FSI. The interpretation in terms of the opposition took was that no, we have to hand over in terms of once we have submitted our plans for approval. So the dispute was over. We said it's actually when we've generated built up area, i.e. constructed built up area, and their view was in terms of no, it's when you submit your plans. We went to the Supreme Court and unfortunately in terms of we lost on this particular point, and as a result we're gearing up to hand over in terms of the share of 1/3 to MCGM and MADA in terms of respectively by the 6-month in terms of timeline which we've been given. This in no way hampers or in terms of changes any of our commitments, may they be commercial, may they be technically, or in terms of may they be from a design perspective. We already took this handover commitment into consideration while concluding in terms of the entire design of the master plan and financially in terms of concluding the financials of the project.
Jay, so what is the current land bank the company is sitting on and what is the plan for developing the same?
Well, Bombay Dyeing at the moment has, as I said, in terms of 45 and 25 acres in the city of, in the island city of Bombay. And at the moment, our focus is to develop these 2 in terms of independent land parcels into mixed-use developments. A mixed-use development in terms of, from our perspective, is has to have residences, offices, 5-star hotel, a mall, a high street, a school and or a hospital with large open spaces. So essentially we're doing 2 mixed-use developments. There are only 3 differences between the mixed-use developments. 1, geographical location, Worli, west coast of Bombay, island city of Bombay, and the other, the east coast of the island city of Bombay. 2 is the target audience. The target audience for the Worli project, as known as WIC, is essentially focused on what I call the phantom, Rolls-Royce phantom type of in terms of buyer. And the target audience in terms of for the other is the Mercedes in terms of type of buyer. The third in terms of differentiator between the 2 mixed-use developments essentially is the exposure to product mix. So in Dadar we're looking at in terms of more residences, and in Worli we're looking at less residences. In Dadar we're looking at less offices, and in Worli we're looking at more offices. In Dadar, we're looking at a 5-star hotel, and in Worli, we're looking at a 7-star hotel. So ultimately, these are the three differentiators of both the mixed-use developments, and that's ultimately what Bombay Realty is focusing on primarily. We are also looking and evaluating in terms of other land parcels that the family and the group has, and ultimately on an arm's length basis, Bombay Realty will participate in potentially looking at joint developments of these group and family land parcels.
So, Jay, how will investors of Bombay Dyeing benefit from all the land bank development? Any plans to spin it off into a separate listed entity?
We have no plans at the moment. Ultimately, the benefit goes to the shareholder. My job essentially as the managing director of Bombay Dyeing is to ensure that I consistently create shareholder wealth. And ultimately, Bombay Realty is a division of Bombay Dyeing, and therefore it's a listed company, and the fruits of basically in terms of the development will be in terms of shared with the shareholders of the company.
So Jay, what is the current debt on the books of Bombay Realty?
The debt at the moment is about 3-to-1, and we're looking at reducing this in terms of over the next 3 to 4 years, and we're aiming at being a debt-free company within the next 4 to 5 years.